Super Bowl. We've been so busy this week talking about New York Mets and Pete Alonso, so I'm ready for a little change of pace. We're going to just talk all things Super Bowl. What are you guys thinking? Who are you rooting for? Who are you picking? How do you think the game is going to go down? Who do you think the MVP is going to be? So I'm not going to make my official prediction yet. I'll probably do that in a video tomorrow. But I just kind of want to know what everybody is thinking. Who are you cheering for? Who are you rooting for in the Super Bowl? Of course, it is the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles. They're two of the teams that were near the top or at the top of their conference pretty much all season. So I wouldn't say either of these two teams would be surprises to be in the Super Bowl. Certainly not the Chiefs, as they've been there before, and the Eagles were there just a couple years ago. This is a rematch from a couple years back as well, because the last time the Chiefs and the Eagles faced off, the Chiefs were successful at defeating the Eagles. So there's definitely a little bit of revenge here. It's not too often that you get repeat Super Bowls within a very short period of time. I mean, sometimes you get ones that are separated by decades or whatever, but to be that close together, kind of different. Savage, how's it going? KC, how's it going? So just talking a little bit of Super Bowl, taking a little break from the baseball coverage here, and just talking Super Bowl. So who do you got? Who are you picking? Who do you think is going to win? I haven't made my official pick yet. Yeah, so how many times in a row did Dallas and Buffalo face each other? Like 3 out of the 4 years? Or occasionally, I guess you could have that when you just have kind of two dominant things. But it is, at least in recent memory, it's pretty rare. You got, I can remember you had the Patriots Giants. You had a couple times in a short span of years or whatever. So, well, I can tell you who I'm rooting for. I'm 100% rooting for the Eagles here. And really, I have just become a full-on Saquon Barkley fan this year. I was pretty neutral on him. Like, I knew he was a good running back and everything, but just in learning more about him and his character and just really seeing him thriving in Philadelphia is super cool. So I've got, it's been a long time since I've had a player that I'm truly cheering for in the Super Bowl. So it's kind of fun to have that, cheering for Saquon this year. And of course, a lot of people would say and have been saying that the Chiefs look vulnerable. They won a ton of games, but not convincing. Brian, how's it going? We're talking all things Super Bowl. So let's know, who are you cheering for? Who are you picking? I'm not going to make my official pick yet. I'm actually still in the air. Still up in the air of which direction I'm going to go. But, yeah, so just want to know, what do you think? How do you think this is going to play out? So I'll be cheering for Saquon, cheering for the Eagles for sure. And hoping that we don't have to do with another Chiefs championship here, and would love to just kind of see a little bit of NFC momentum in beating the Chiefs here. I mean, the other question that kind of comes into play with all this too is if the Eagles can make a couple more Super Bowls here in the next couple years, do you have kind of the building of a genuine rivalry here with this Chiefs and Eagles? Now, of course, we're hoping we don't see this regularly, but anyway, so what do you guys think? Yeah, definitely go Philly. I think that's probably the predominant think that is probably the predominant feeling for most non-Chiefs fans. So but I think, unfortunately, my gut says if this game is close, everything goes to the Chiefs. I think if you're an Eagles fan, you're really looking, a lot of times, when you're cheering for the underdog, you just kind of want them to hang tight. But I just feel if this is a close game, it's just going to swing the way of the Chiefs. So I think, on the other hand, if we're talking more about, you're wanting to see the upset here, it's going to be much better if the Eagles can get off to an early lead and then run Saquon run. So here, let me, I'm gonna mod up Casey. I just made you a mod. So, and Savage, I'm gonna mod you up here too. There we add as a moderator. There we go. You guys kind of know the basics by now. Natalie, thanks for hanging out with us. So, yeah, I just think if you're cheering for the Eagles, if the Eagles get behind early, or really just if Saquon gets taken out of this game, I think that the Eagles are going to be in a really tough position. You earned that wrench, Savage. Yep, you've been around for a while, so. And I know you've been one of the most consistent ones on MetropoliFins, and Casey, you've been really consistent over here too. So, as well as the other channel. But I appreciate you guys so much, and I know that there's going to be more modding necessary on a sports talk channel than maybe on a side hustle channel. Thanks for the tool. Thank you, Casey. Thank you, Savage. So, yeah, so that's just kind of what my gut says. This game, I don't want to say it rests in the arms of Saquon or rests in the legs of Saquon, however you want to do that. But I do feel like if Saquon is taken out of the picture, it's going to be really hard for the Eagles. And if the Eagles if they're just down late, they're having to just do, sure, you can screen and get some passes to Saquon, but this game is going to go much more likely. And I mean, the other side of it is, yeah, there's always holding calls on running plays, but there's just a lot less penalties, I think, that will take place. It's going to be a lot harder to call penalties on the Eagles if they get up big. So, and if they're just running the ball, like, yeah, sure, they could call holding a little bit, but, you're just going to basically be dealing with a guy who's just going to be handing the ball off, feed Saquon. So I definitely want to know, who are you guys cheering for? Sounds like it's mostly Philly. Is there anyone who is... Okay, so are Cowboys fans, are Giants fans? Savage, you're a Cowboys fan. You're still rooting for Philly in this one? I mean, is there any fan base outside of Kansas City that is, as a whole, cheering for the Chiefs? Is there any NFC East rivals? Are Commanders cheering for Commanders fans? Are you guys cheering for the Eagles? Giants fans, Cowboys fans? Because, I mean, for me, last week or 2 weeks ago, I guess, last real game, because you can't count the Pro Bowl as a real game, but couple weeks ago, I could not root for the Bills. And if the Bills were in this game, I don't know who the Bills could be playing that I would be like, no, there's no way I'd want to see that team win, because there's not anybody from the NFC that I particularly hate. So you're just rooting. So in this case, you're going the full SEC route. So you're just cheering for NFC East. That's the SEC fans. And it's like when their teams get eliminated, they just root for the conference. So in this case, you're rooting for the division. So it'd be kind of interesting to know. What do you guys think? Obviously, there's a lot of perceived bias towards the Chiefs. I do wonder if maybe that will actually... It's been talked about, I think, more over the last 2 weeks than any time I remember hearing about it. And I wonder if that will actually work in the Eagles' favor a little bit, that the refs might be just a little more cautious on not blowing the whistle, not throwing that flag as much. So I don't know for sure, but it's definitely got me... I thought it was going to be pretty cut and dry. I was going to be picking the Chiefs, but I'm as I see everything play out, it's like you never feel good picking against the Chiefs, right? But with so much exposure being brought to the perceived bias, and I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've heard about that in the media over the last week, people just asking about it. Just wonder if that maybe bodes well in the Eagles' favor, if the refs will be a little bit less likely to throw that flag, to blow the whistle, to blow the play dead, a little more likely to kind of almost overcorrect to show that it's not a Chiefs bias. And I certainly do think that as a Chiefs team, this was not their best season. They're not coming in steamrolling teams like they were in previous years. And I draw a distinction here because, yes, obviously they won a lot of games, but they also won a lot of games by one score. And if you remember last year, That was kind of the big narrative that was against the Minnesota Vikings. They had won all these games, but they were just kind of like, a lot of them were like 3-point or 7 points or less games. And all the experts were saying, and rightly so, I think this was last year, it might have been 2 years ago, 1 or 2 years ago, the Vikings were just winning all these games barely by the skin of their teeth. And everyone just said, well, eventually the ball is just going to bounce the other way and they're not going to be able to hold it up. I don't hear that talk as much around the Chiefs this year. So was that 2022? Okay, so 2 seasons ago. It's the one where they got eliminated by the Giants, right? Yeah, that sounds right. You hate the Chiefs and the Eagles, Jonathan, so you're rooting for the tie in 9 overtimes. For me personally, I don't feel like I've got a ton of animosity towards the Chiefs, even though I'd prefer not to see them win, simply because this is nowhere near as long of a dynasty that the Chiefs are building as what I had to suffer under Tom Brady and the Patriots. I mean, that was like, 15 to 18 years of basic dominance, and so I'm not quite as sick of the Chiefs as a lot of other people are, but I think, because I've posed this question before, and my theory is the reason people are getting sick of the Chiefs so fast is because of the Patriots. It was like, okay, we're free from Tom Brady. Why do we have, and now we're just going into another dynasty. I think if we weren't coming off the Brady era, because the Mahomes era, most of the negativity towards it has to do with the NFL, the refs, that side of the conspiracy, whereas most of the negativity towards, Taylor Swift. Well, yeah, I think most football fans will do that. I heard the prop bet is over or under 6.5 Taylor Swift sightings in the Super Bowl. And a lot of people are saying maybe the under is the good bet there, simply because the NFL's gotten a lot of feedback. So we'll see. Yep. Well, and if you look at the Dolphins' record, the Dolphins had more wins against the Patriots in the regular season than any other team. Of course, it helps that we played them twice, but we would split with the Patriots in the regular season almost every year. So I'm going to be going here in just a couple minutes. I'm just pulling in to school to pick up the family, but I can hang and talk with you guys till they are ready to be picked up, just so everybody knows. If you haven't hit that like and subscribe, please do so. We've been doing lots of baseball coverage, and of course we will be full bore onto baseball coverage here in the next, well, really after Sunday. Pitchers and catchers are reporting. Lots of people are showing up already at spring training. Spring training games start here in about, I want to say it's like 2 weeks or less. So it's coming soon. So anyway, I'll hang out with you guys for a couple more minutes. But yeah, what else do you got? I don't have anything. Awesome. So Cowboys retired Brady the second time. Yeah. So anyway, I think most people will be rooting for the Eagles, but I do, in a broader sense, wonder a little bit if people are just sick of the Chiefs because they were sick of the Patriots. So I don't know. I can't answer that, but do you think that that people would be sick of the Chiefs had we not just come off of a 20-year Brady dynasty? I don't know. I can't really answer that one way or the other. So that's what we got for now. I will have my official prediction video. I'll probably put it out tomorrow. It may go out Sunday, just depending on how busy things are. But it looks like the family is ready to be picked up from school. So that being said, if you're watching live or on replay, hit that subscribe and then comment down below. Who are you picking and who do you think is going to win in the Super Bowl? Talk to you guys again soon.